this is, just remember, this is an early statement. I mean, we still have, 7 more episodes to go? Not to be too controversial, just too early with this show, but this is what Kick-Ass should have been. What is up? It is your boy Corn. Welcome here to Half-Ass Pod. Man, just finished the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker that they just released at midnight. The first episode wasn't really that good. I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't that good, but wasn't really that great. I didn't laugh much. I wasn't really, by the end of the first episode, I wasn't really on board. But then I watched the second episode. And I was like, okay, now I see, gotcha. And then you started seeing more of the James Gunn isms in this show. And then by the time you get to episode 3, full on board. Like, this show is, I'm not going to say it's some kind of masterpiece or anything like that, but this show could be very monumental for a lot of reasons. Especially when it comes to superhero shows, right? I mean, you got The Boys, which is its own kind of thing. But this is, and this might be an early, just remember, this is an early statement. I mean, we still have, 7 more episodes to go? But, not to be too controversial, just too early with this show, but this is what Kick-Ass should have been. Hear me out. I love Kick-Ass. I even like the second one, while most people, I believe, didn't like the second Kick-Ass. But there was something missing, because there's a reason why we weren't asking for a third Kick-Ass. At least I wasn't. Even after me liking the second one, I was not asking for a third one. There's a reason for that. There's something missing with those movies, where it was just like I couldn't put my finger. I still can't put my finger on it, what it was. But for some reason, when a show like this hits, and then you get to episode 3, and I realize, I'm like, wow. Because Kick-Ass was still a little more of the hokiness. Like, even in the second one, it was a little too cartoonish hokiness to it. You know what I mean? But this has a perfect balance. This show has that balance of the realism, but then remember, these are superheroes and supervillains we're talking about. So, I mean, I get it. I completely get it. But oh my god. From the storyline to the characters. Now, don't get me wrong, because while this show is mostly, I'd say it's probably 98%, maybe 95% James Gunn, because they gave him a lot of leeway with this show, by the way. The jokes in this show are just like, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they let him go free reign. They gave him free reign with this show. They let him go all out, balls to the wall with all his jokes, and I love it. The jokes are funny in the show. Now the first episode I wasn't really laughing too much, but the second episode the jokes are funny. The third episode the jokes are funny. The story gets way better. My favorite character so far is Vigilante, hands down. Vigilante. I love the character Vigilante. I cannot say that enough. I cannot wait to see more. I do think, this is an early little hot take, but I do think, I think at some point he's going to have to kill Vigilante, though. We're going to have to see. But I like the whole friendship that he and Peacemaker have, and of course, you know, how can we have a superhero or supervillain show? I don't know what they're trying to call him, a superhero now, so who the fuck knows, but I'm going to still call him supervillain. You can't have a comic book show or a superhero show without an evil father. So, of course, they go back to that. Look, I don't care what they did in the comics. At this point, I mean, at this point, who cares what the comic? You know what I mean? Because this is a completely different source of media that they're doing this with. You know, a completely different interpretation they're doing of Peacemaker. But evil father, of course, I think they're just beating us over the head with this at this point. I really do. I think they're just beating us over the head with it at this point. When it, at least when it comes to, evil father and good son, or evil son turning to be good, and it's just like, man, it's overdone. But it's interesting. I mean, they made the dad pretty much the American version of Hitler, I guess. I don't know. I have, look, I do have these are look, I'm definitely nitpicking when I say this, but they do have their certain agendas that they have to push, obviously. So, you got the,
black lesbians. Don't you like that word? Lesbian.
But, however, they make it interesting. This character is very interesting because it is Amanda Waller's daughter. So, I mean, that to me is very interesting. And they've already started playing that into the story. I love it. I love it. I didn't see that coming when she did the Skype call with Amanda Waller. And I was not expecting to see Amanda Waller either in the show. I mean, we talk about, obviously budgets and stuff like that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think about, the budget stuff. But I didn't expect to see Amanda Waller. So that kind of leads me to believe, who else could we see in this show? Now, I don't think we're going to see anybody big in the show. Like, I don't think we're going to see Aquaman, with that whole Aquaman joke of him fucking the fishes. That was hilarious as well, by the way. That joke, and the it was the Star Wars, the Chewbacca joke, where he said that yeah, that Wookiees have teeth in their assholes or something like that. That was hilarious as well. But and then he said that was canon. that had me dead. That had me dead. But this show has it all. It's got the comedy, it's got the seriousness into it. You're starting to see Peacemaker. You're starting to see what's his name, Chris Smith. The two most generic names of mankind put together. I didn't even know that was his. That was Peacemaker's name. So that was interesting too. But you kind of have the deeper understandings of who this person is. As this story's going along. So I love it, man. This show is awesome. It's James Gunn going all out. He even came out and said, like, he put pretty much this is his best work, is this show Peacemaker.
Because I think that Peacemaker is everything that people hope it's going to be and more. I've been making, movies and writing books and doing all sorts of things for now, I guess, almost, over 25 years. And I have never, ever been more excited to share something with the world than I am with Peacemaker. I think we created something extraordinarily special, something that is both insane but also incredibly heartfelt and incredibly beautiful. I think it's a story about people today and our differences in this world and how different we all are, and how, despite that, maybe there's some common ground in a place that we can get along. And so I can't wait. I can't wait for people to see it. It's might be my favorite thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh shit, man! DC, you need to cut the check right now. Cut the check right now. But yeah, man, look, John Cena's killing it right now. The side characters, they're supporting characters, they're pretty good as well. They're interesting. You got the hardcore feminist woman as well, the strong woman as well. They got to put that in as well. But like I said, the whole agenda stuff. At the end of the day, it is HBO Max, it's Warner Brothers, it's whoever. It's DC. They got to push the agenda somehow. So obviously, you're gonna have your isms in there throughout the show, but it's not where it's too like in your face or shoving it down your throat. In fact, some of them they even go back to some of the humor, which is why I said James Gunn is being James Gunn, and he's at his best when he is able to have free reign like this, because the comedy in the show is definitely something that we have not been able to see as much in this day and age. So if there's anything I would say to someone who is not even a superhero movie like fan, or a big superhero movie fan or superhero fan, I would say, and they're thinking about watching the show, I would say this: if you enjoyed comedy back in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, before everything got super woke and weird and everybody cancel culture and all this, I would say watch the show. And right before I even hopped on here to even record this, I hopped on Twitter just to see, okay, this can't be good. I was like, I like this show a little too much. And I'm like, just because, especially with the comedy, just some of the jokes and some of the stuff that they put into the show, and some of the serious topics that they put into the show, and the way they do it, everything's so subtle in the show, but also, it's bringing a bigger story along for the ride, if that makes sense, right? So, I hopped on Twitter just to see, okay, people are probably saying, oh, cancel James Gunn now or some shit. No, dude. People are right there, which tells you, man, this cancel culture shit is BS. It's BS. It's fake. You want to know why? Because if you don't have the higher ups crying, and you don't have all these other the Patton Oswalds of the world, and the not Bruce Banner, but he plays Bruce Banner. What's his name? Fucking Mark Ruffalo. Those kind of guys of the world running around saying, this show is offensive or whatever. Then people aren't gonna fucking do it. This is good old-fashioned humor and a good old-fashioned story, and it's amazing with good old-fashioned characters, with amazing fucking characters. So look, I'm excited. The first 3 episodes is to me, at least episodes 2 and 3, really great television, really great television, and I can't wait for what's next. So I'll be back with more Peacemaker stuff as more Peacemaker comes out, but make sure you guys hit that like and that subscribe. It's your boy Corn, and it's Half-Ass Pod.